I'm a man. I'm 40.
Well, I'm the best corner in the game. When you try me with a sorry receiver like Crabtree, that's the result you're going to get.
Playoffs? Don't talk about playoffs. You kidding me? Playoffs? I just hope we can win a game.
If you want to crown them, then crown their ass. But they are who we thought they were, and we let them off the hook.
I mean, listen, we talking about practice.
Welcome, everybody. The NBA playoffs are here. They're here. Everything is good in the world. Everything is right. I'm excited. I got the original, the OG cast with me. Who do I want to come to first? Everybody's super nervous. Ryan's here.
Oh, I got to pick first. All right. That's like the only time I've ever been picked first for something that's sports related, so that's a pretty big achievement.
That's good to know. How you doing, my man?
I'm doing good. I just want to mention it's been pretty good around these parts for the members of the show, sports-wise, since we started this thing up. Everyone had a team in the NCAA tournament, and now my Thunder in the playoffs, your Bulls, right. Josh's Bobcats, Chris's Warriors, and Brad's LeBron James's are in the playoffs too.
That's right.
The worst. Well, hey, those are some positive vibes. I like it. Hey, now real quick, before you screw us over again like you did last week, did you check your internet? Is it on?
I did a nice little router reset before we hopped on.
Hey now.
Torrent.
There you go. Bradley, speaking of.
What's up, man? How's it going?
How are you? No, I'm asking you, man. I'm asking you.
I'm great. I'm fantastic. I mean, school's got me down, and I'm sick of doing stuff with that. But other than that,
when are you dropping out?
I think next year, senior year. I think that's when I'm going to go with that.
That's a good time.
Like
if I had to my dropout, I would have waited.
Speaking of senior year, Josh, hey, tell the folks what jersey you're wearing right now. I think that they would be interested.
Vintage Charlotte Bobcats, one of the best players in history, Sean May.
Sean May.
Yeah, it was a giveaway. I did not buy this player's jersey.
Yeah, okay, all right. Sure, you didn't. You were the first in line of after draft night. You're like, oh, he's going to be the greatest. He's going to be the greatest.
Speaking of, who else is excited for the draft day? I can't wait to watch that movie. It looks great.
You really are? I don't know how serious you're being.
Yeah, I'm just
like, what is that movie? Like, what is it gonna be? Like, it looks so terrible. Weird. Like, when honestly, when I
is it a movie about how the Browns messed up the draft like 18 years in a row? Is that what it's about?
Honestly, I thought it was a joke. Like, I thought it was like an Onion joke.
Yeah,
like,
so did I. First time I saw the trailer, I was like, all right, this is kind of funny. They got Foster to do this bit, like this is gonna be a real movie, and then I'm like, holy shit, they run this commercial all the time. Like,
yeah,
this is serious.
Dude, I swear to God, it took me like 3 or 4 times seeing it to be like, wait, this is a real, like, this is coming out. Like, I can go see this, like, for real.
Just the way he talks in that commercial, like,
give
me 5 minutes, then you can fire me. Like, get out of here, dude.
I'd recommend not seeing the movie and just go ahead and read PFT commenters, SB Nation review on it, and it's just as good as being there. So if you want to save yourself $17 and a whole lot of shame, just go read that.
That was the perfect line too. Like, it's such a joke. Like, give me 5 minutes and then you can fire me. Oh man, the OG Chris, the original killer. Too sweet to be sour. How you doing?
Pretty good. The Sharks just scored a goal like less than 5 minutes into their first half game, so even better now.
Did the Blackhawks end up winning, or what happened to that game?
Blackhawks and Blues are still in not even still in overtime. They're talking about what they're going to do in overtime in the locker room. Right now.
Okay.
They should probably try winning. That's what I would do.
Hockey. I think we've talked way too much already.
That's definitely advisable.
Yeah. Moving on. The NBA playoffs are here, guys. I mean, how excited are you? Like, how happy? Like, how like this is gonna be good, man. Right?
It's gonna be great.
That's what I mean. Like, cause there's a lot of like. Yeah, go ahead, man.
Can I ask you a question real quick about you being the biggest NBA fan I know?
Mm-hmm.
How do you feel about no Lakers, no Celtics, no Knicks for the first time ever in the NBA playoffs?
I mean, honestly, it's better when...
Does that sour the experience for you?
No, hell no. Like, the thing is with me, is I can watch two brothers play at the park in jeans. Like, I don't care, man. I just like watching basketball. But, like, honestly, no. The league's better when the Knicks and Lakers are good. I mean, I'm all, like, it may be the big market. Like, I grew up in a big market, so I'm kind of biased towards it. But, I don't know, man. Big markets just make things better, I think. For the most part. It's not like always, but... I don't know. When the Knicks are good, there's always something. You know, there's always a story. Same with the Lakers. But no, it's not soured. At least for me, it's not. But there is a lot of storylines. That's the thing this year is it's not like set in stone, really. You know, even in the East. I mean, I'm pretty sure
the East, the narrative is that it's just going to be, you know, just a cakewalk for the Heat. And there's really nothing else, you know, dissuading that opinion. But at the same time, it might be just as that also lends itself to being just as pardon the wordplay, as wild as the West, because who knows what'll happen when you have these teams that are, you know, a little bit above mediocrity facing off with each other. You could get some teams surprising you. You could get the Raptors making some noise in the playoffs in the East.
Well, yeah. Here's the thing: is Josh, what's up? Your Bobcats are about to take a swing, man. What do you think?
I'm a little disappointed we're playing the Heat. We think we've lost like the past 15, 18, 20 games against them, something like that. And
yeah, but you're due.
Yeah, we are due. I was hoping to play Toronto, the 3 seed. That would have been nice. That would have been a really good series, but. It's kind of unfortunate we have to play the Heat, but it is what it is, and I think they'll give them a good fight. I think Heat will have more trouble getting to Pacers than they will playing the Pacers.
I tend to agree. Especially because it's funny that Brooklyn, it's like they'd rather play the Heat than the Bulls.
Yeah.
It seems like, you know, it was weird that they were like, okay, well, we just kind of want the 6th seed, so we can play the Heat in the second round instead of the Bulls in the first round. I mean, or I guess the Bulls or the Raptors in the first round.
Well, you gotta. Well, not that you have to realize it. The Nets are comprised of KG and Pierce, so of course they want to play Miami because that stems back from, you know, 2011, 2012.
Yeah.
But you still have these young guys, these other guys on here that whenever they play Miami, it's like when they play their best basketball because they know they're probably going to be on TV and they're going to be on Sports Center, so that's when they play hard, and every other time they really don't.
It's just kind of weird. Well, let's talk about that series a little bit. I mean, well, okay, let's talk. Let's not skip ahead too far. The Brooklyn-Toronto series. Let's talk about that a little bit. I mean, is it going to be as easy for Brooklyn as they apparently think it's going to be?
I love that matchup. I think that's going to be one of the better first-round matchups in the East. They tied 2-2, but I don't know. It's going to be interesting seeing Toronto's wing play and guard play versus kind of the more talented, more kind of experienced Brooklyn team. And
slower Brooklyn team. Yeah,
definitely. Older.
Mm-hmm. And that's where I think Brooklyn is at a little bit of a disadvantage. They have playoff experience, but they have playoff experience because these guys are very, very old. They're at the tail end of their careers. And if it comes down to, you know, I think this will be at least a 6-game series. Can Brooklyn hold up? I think that's a big question.
I mean, I think it's going to be maybe the best series in the first round, East or West, honestly, because you don't know what you're going to get. And I think you can't undervalue, even with their age, Brooklyn's experience. And Paul Pierce and KG hasn't been really anything this year, but Pierce has turned it on second half, and especially towards the end. But, you know, Garnett gets in there, it's the playoffs, and he knows he he can maybe get a chance at LeBron next round, and him and Pierce get so up for that, it's ridiculous. So I wouldn't undervalue the experience even with the age. And you got guys like Sean Livingston, Joe Johnson. They're not scrubs necessarily. Even young Plumlee's playing well for him. So I don't know. I can see it going 7 games.
Chris, how do you feel about it?
I don't know.
I know you're a huge East Coast basketball fan. Most of the East Coast games were on before I got home from work a lot of the second half of the season. So yeah,
even when they were on national TV, I wasn't getting to see them very much. It does definitely seem like one of those classic youth versus experience games, and but almost definitely Toronto has a physical, athletic advantage, but there's no question that Brooklyn has more experience. I kind of wonder if it might be somewhat similar to Kentucky, not really having experience with making a run through the NCAA tournament with Toronto. Just nobody really knows what to expect from them.
And Drake will be there rooting them on, so there's that connection too.
Yeah, and Drake
will be there rooting everyone on.
Well,
that's if you catch a flight from either Oklahoma or Toronto, or not Toronto, but Miami the day before.
The thing is with basketball, the NBA especially, it's like, it's definitely a you got to lose before you win league. Like nobody in the NBA like just comes out of nowhere and wins it. You know what I mean? Like football.
That's very true.
Yeah, in the NFL you'll get like your random champs. Baseball, same way.
But not necessarily a first-round series, though, it doesn't seem like.
Yeah, no, I agree, but I think that they just ran into the wrong the Raptors, I'm saying, ran into the wrong matchup. Like, they could definitely beat the Bobcats. They could definitely beat, anybody. Us five could beat the Hawks. They could, maybe even beat the Wizards. Hell, they'd even give the Bulls
if they were in a similar matchup with a team that in a similar spot where it's their first time in the playoffs in a long time, then I would say the Raptors have it. But with playing the Nets, I think the Nets will take it because I think the Nets know how to play in the situation.
Yeah, really, you can't go into the playoffs with no experience and expect to win. You can't. You just don't. And that's just how the NBA is. It always has been. It's nothing. This isn't like a new thing, I'm not like breaking ground by saying this, but it's like that's just how it is, and that sucks for them. But you know what? They get beat up a little bit. They lick their wounds and they come back next year, And then next year is when those players like they know like okay, this is playoff basketball. That's when they, can play right. Like we were just watching in the 30 for 30 today. I don't know if anybody else saw it. I watched it.
I watched it.
Yeah,
you look at it.
They had to lose a bunch of times before they.
They had three seasons where they get knocked out by the. Or they had 2 seasons where they get knocked. 2 or 3 seasons where they get knocked out by the Celtics. 2 seasons where they got knocked out by the Celtics, and then they got knocked out in the finals by the Lakers before they won the title. But you see them talk about we have to beat the Lakers or the Celtics, and we get over that, and then we get over the Lakers. That's kind of the league the NBA is. There's these set in stone barriers, and then once you get past them, you're better for it.
Right. It's like because there's so much mentality that goes into it.
Yeah, if the Raptors go out and lose in 5, 6 games, 5, 6, 7 games in the series, I don't think anyone who cheers for Toronto should be disheartened by it because I think it'll make them all the better next season.
Mm-hmm. Moving on, did we want to do Wizards Bulls talk? Did we want to talk about Wizards Bulls a little bit? Does anybody have the Wizards? I'm not just like
I don't. I got the Bulls.
Josh has got a little dumbass smirk on his face over there.
I just don't like that matchup. I don't know. It's all right. I think Bulls take it.
Yeah, I think that's kind of the thing. Is it's like
you never know Wizards, if Bulls can't put up points.
That's true.
That's true. That series is.
Yeah, but the Wizards are going to be the Bulls are going to score 85. The Wizards are only going to score 80. You know what I mean? Like it's going to be like that.
Yeah. I don't think it'll be easy for Chicago, but I'm confident in them winning.
Right. There it is. That's a great way to put it. And that's the same thing with the Raptors. The Wizards just don't have. Nene is the only one with experience. Gortat, I guess.
Do you think it'll be kind of like the Brooklyn series last year? where
No.
Chicago was better than Brooklyn, but they still scrapped a lot of those games.
No, the thing is with last year's Joakim Noah won it. He won Game 7 pretty much by himself. I don't think it's gonna have to. I don't think they're gonna have to do that. I think they're gonna win a lot of the. They're gonna go win in like 5 or 6, and the games are all gonna be like 85 to 80.
That's what I think. I think it'll be 5-game series, 6 at the worst.
John Wall is gonna like torture DJ Augustine for 1 game, and the Wizards are gonna win. That's about it.
And that'll probably be like game 3. And
yeah,
then,
right. The first
right
one
the
in
ship.
Washington, and then we'll be like, okay, let's back down to business. All right, moving on. We all got Pacers in Atlanta, or Pacers in Miami winning the first round.
I'm pretty sure the Pacers don't even have to like. If the Pacers missed a couple games, I'm pretty sure they'd probably still win the series.
Yeah, if you guys want to talk about that, I'm gonna
decide-
check out. I'm done. I'm over both of those games.
The thing with Indiana is they really could miss a couple of those games, just the way they've been playing.
Yeah. My 2 least favorite teams in the league.
We had a little pre-show discussion. If anyone out there can think of a more irrelevant team that still makes the playoffs every year, but will never win anything, than the Atlanta Hawks, please tell us, because I can't come up with one off the top of my head.
No.
They have to be the most irrelevant franchise in pro sports.
I refuse.
Cincinnati Bengals. I just thought of this. Cincinnati Bengals are about a year or 2 away from winning the wild card in the
Super Bowl. They've played in the Super Bowl. The Hawks will never touch.
The Bengals at least have AJ Green. Yeah, I refuse to speak a word about that team. So if anybody else wants to say anything else, I'm ready to move on.
Rest in peace to Al Horford. They miss him.
See, that's what I'm saying. If he was there, I'd be like, okay, or let's, but it's like, whatever. Jeff Teague, who cares?
Hey, they got you a boy Kyle Korver.
Yeah, Korver's cool, but in the playoffs he gets exposed every year. It's the same thing.
He's not my boy. If that guy's a Creighton grad, he's not my boy at all. Thumbs down to him.
That's my boy. I'm cool with Korver.
We shifting over to the Western Conference?
Yeah, let's go out west. Who do we got? We got Clippers, Warriors. That's the big one. That's the one everybody seems to be looking forward to the most.
Yeah, that'll be good.
It kind of sucks that Bogut's out.
When is he not out?
Yeah.
What's up with yeah, that's the thing. And another when is he not out, guy? Is David Lee playing? Is he playing?
I think he should be back. He's been resting the past week, 2-3 weeks.
That's what I'm saying.
I think he played 1 game, and then the game yesterday, they just gave everybody the day off pretty much that plays.
I'm pretty sure David Lee's a go.
Okay.
Yeah.
I can't speak for the man, but I feel like he should go because he's had plenty of time off.
But, yeah, he came back last year pretty quick too, though, from his injury in the playoffs.
Yeah,
He came in a few days.
Well, whatever. I just wasn't sure. I just
No,
need to
yeah,
clarify that.
that'll be fun though. That's always a jawing match between those two, going back and at it and yelling. And
it's gonna be so much fun.
Everything.
I don't think they're going to miss Bogut with the match.
How many fines we assessed in this series?
Well,
I'm surprised they haven't gotten him already. Is kind of what I'm surprised about.
Yeah, Clay is already calling out Blake. Clay's saying the thing I've been saying about LeBron for years. How's a dude that big and strong gonna be flopping like that?
Good.
Freaking just unbelievable.
I heard that this morning.
Speaking of flopping and Andrew Bogut, did anybody see his comments after he got hurt this time?
What did he say?
He pretty much said that I guess if you guys want me to, or if people expect me not to miss games, I should figure out how to avoid contact at all costs.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Because that's pretty.
Basically, he just called himself fragile.
Yeah, I don't.
He just basically understood himself, and the next contract negotiation
or something. It's not like the normal sprain his ankle and out for a week or 2 weeks or something. It's always contact injuries, which seems kind of random.
Yeah, but when you're injury prone, you're injury prone. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Let's talk about the players that are playing. I think it goes 7. I think this is going 7.
Yeah.
The Clips Warriors?
Yeah.
Oh, I think Clips winning easily 4-5, maybe 6.
Easily.
Man, the Warriors depleted. Their bench isn't going to show up. Their bench is their bench. Draymond Green's the MVP of the bench. May have Spates drop 50 one night, but I mean, Clips are playing great right now.
Lakers 4-5.
Yeah, you had to get that in there, didn't you?
Spates did the facial on someone yesterday, I think, though.
Brad, what were you saying? I'm sorry, I interrupted.
The Clips in 4 or 5 just seems
insane.
I don't see that.
I'm saying no more. I'm saying Clips in 5.
Oh, dude, you're crazy. Dude, you got Steph. Steph's winning one by himself.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's
Klay Thompson's hitting a bunch of threes in another one.
And then who else?
And then their bench wins another one. Iguodala hits a game winner in another one. There you go. There's 3
maybe they're
right
playing
there.
OKC, maybe.
Dude, well, all right. Well, here's no, listen, because last year Harrison Barnes when they played him at the 4 in the playoffs because they had to, and he took off. That's what he is. He's not a small forward. He's a power forward in today's NBA, and I think that's what they're going to end up doing again in the playoffs against the Clippers.
I just like what Doc Rivers has done with the team with Blake Griffin. I just think they're a way better team than they were last year, and I don't think Warriors injury prone, and I just think they're kind of figured out. Obviously, Curry's a boss, but
Dude,
I'm saying Clippers in 5.
5? That's crazy.
Just wait.
So
I tend to agree with Josh. Maybe not 5, but I think the Clippers. I just like it for the Warriors. No, I think 6 games, and I think the Warriors get all of theirs, get their 2 at home, and then the Clippers win 3 at home and then 1 on the road.
Somebody explain to me the infatuation with this Clippers team. I don't get it. We'll save that. We'll save that.
I will say
really that's what it comes down to. I think Doc Rivers is a great coach. I think
he's a good coach.
Makes a huge difference.
I think he's a good coach.
I think he's a good coach, but he's had really good players, and that makes a difference.
Nailed it.
Curry in the playoffs, though, is must-watch, though, at all times. The dude's
That's
unreal.
what I'm saying.
I would love to watch 7 games with them, with Curry keeping them alive. But
that's going 7. Brad, what do you think? I heard you earlier talking. You were on the
I had 7 too. I think I have the Clippers winning that round. Yeah, I might have the Clippers in the finals. We'll get to that in a little bit later. But when you look at Golden State, they do lack depth, quite a bit of depth, and not just on the bench, but it's Steph Curry and Klay Thompson, and that's really it. I mean, Iggy's all right. He's pretty good. He's not what he used to be. He's still a good defender, but you can't really rely on him to score.
Yeah, but if they need a shot, and and Curry's double team, he can hit it.
But Iggy, Iggy's been there before. We were talking about earlier, the experience. Iggy knows. He's been through tons of playoff battles, so it's not like he's gonna be all of a sudden. I don't know.
I got things here. I think Bogut being out is huge. What he does to the Warriors team defensively and just as a team, he changes the Warriors a lot. He's up there for defensive player of the year just because of him being on the court on the defensive side. But also, I did kind of forget David Lee's coming back. They haven't been playing with David Lee lately, but so that'll obviously help him. But Bogut being out is huge with DeAndre Jordan out there. Who are you gonna have starting at the 5?
Jermaine O'Neal. He's gonna be playing 32 minutes a game. Good God.
I forgot about that.
See, I don't think Bogut plays that big of a factor in this series though, because it's gonna be an up and down type game.
True, but I guess just the length of DeAndre and that.
I think Bogut not being there is. I'm not saying Bogut's a detriment to the team, but they're gonna go small now, and I think it's gonna unleash things a little bit. It's gonna make things just like last year. Last year was the same way. They went small, and all of a sudden there were shooters everywhere you looked, and you couldn't stop them. They had too many shooters. That's what I think. The Bogut injury is going to help more than hurt.
That's what I was saying too. Yeah.
But
stylistically, it matters a lot with this matchup. Second round, if they happen to make it there, they're going to do some bigs.
Well,
they're screwed.
here's the thing, though. The thing that's going to end up being their downfall is Bogut's out, and you think, oh, that's good and all, but the guy behind him is 85-year-old Jermaine O'Neal. You know what I mean? Like, that's what the problem is, But he's going to have to just suck up fouls. Like, that's all he's going to. He's going to have to get 12 rebounds and 5 fouls. That's going to be the stat line.
In a half-court game, like late in the game situations, you're not going to go to DeAndre Jordan to really win the game anyway. So
right.
It's just going to be competing up and down. They're going to have to outscore everybody, which is what Golden State does anyway, for the most part.
And I mean, Steph's not going to be covering. Steph's just going to be on JJ, so it's not like Chris Paul is going to be tearing Steph up. Yeah, well, that's the thing is, but Steph's just going to be chasing JJ around. So it's like, it's not that big of a deal. Like, that matchup isn't. I mean, they're probably going to have at some point Iguodala on Chris Paul at the end of the games. Yeah. The last 5 minutes. Anybody else have anything to add before we move on to the next matchup? Does everybody have the Clippers though? Does anybody? Chris, these are your boys we're talking about here. Do you have them winning?
No, I think they're probably get it into either 6 or 7 games, but I think the Clippers, especially without Bogut, just not enough defense to stop the Clippers 4 games.
Josh, 5 games though? You really think the 5 games?
I like this Clips team, man. I hope I like, and I also want to see them do well as well. But I'm saying 5 or 6, but I'll go with 5. Yeah.
We'll talk about the Clips a little bit later.
What do you think the highest scoring game in this series is?
128 to 120 is going to be like every game.
Yeah.
Yeah,
every
game. Classic playoff series is pretty much what it's going to be.
Yeah, you're going to watch.
They hate each other and they might get in a fight at some point.
Like you're going to get the Brooklyn Raptors series or the Bulls Wizards series. Bulls Wizards play, and then you're gonna get. It's gonna be like it's gonna be like 2 different games, basically. You know what I mean?
So it's gonna be like if I'm watching like Michigan State and Illinois, and then I turn on Arizona and Cal.
Sure.
This October.
Sure. There you go. Portland at Houston. Portland was
scoring games.
Yeah, right. Oh, this one's gonna be even worse. Portland was the darling of the early season, and then they kind of came back to earth a little bit. And then, I mean, they kind of righted the ship a little bit, but I mean, they weren't what were they like 28-5 at one point or something like that?
Yeah, they were balling at first.
Yeah. This is going 7 for me too. I think this is going 7 too.
Yeah. I think this is going
that
7. Damn.
I got Houston at 6.
6?
Yeah.
Houston does have their number. I think this is going to be the most fun first matchup of the whole playoffs. It's kind of sad too. I like both of these teams. I think it's going to be a lot of offense. I like a lot of the players on both teams, but I think I have Houston in 7, but I don't know. Houston does have Blazers' number.
What is Beverly's deal?
Back.
Is
he
back
in? Last game, I think. He's back.
Okay,
I've been asking that question for the last playoff series.
Yeah, but he.
Oh, here we go. So he's in. It's full starting lineup. I mean, both teams are pretty healthy, right? I mean, there's no weird injury on either of these teams. Okay,
it's gonna be
I thought so. I was just confirming. Yeah, no, I think it's going 7. Just the thing is I think Robin Lopez is the perfect Dwight Howard defender because he's not gonna back down. He's not gonna give a shit that it's Dwight Howard. He doesn't care, and he's gonna be able to go up and down with them. He's gonna be able to run the floor with Dwight. I mean, I'm not saying he's not athletic as Dwight or anything, but there's not gonna be that advantage there that I think a lot of people think.
The only thing I struggle with is will Portland be able to guard all of Houston's scoring options from the perimeter? And that's where I think Houston has their advantage because you have Harden, you have Parsons, and then you have God, there's someone else I'm forgetting.
I mean, even Lynn.
Someone jog my memory.
Lynn,
he's not a jump shooter from the free throw line.
He'll give you one of those games though where he goes.
Well, that's the thing. If Jeremy Lin has a great series, Houston's gonna win in 5 or 6. But I mean, that's not.
Well, I don't think that'll be a thing.
That's exactly. Well, I don't know. I mean, you're gonna get the Damian Lillard game, right? I mean, there's got to be one. I mean, I know we were saying before. I know we were saying before about you got to get there and everything, and I think that also plays into this.
Lillard's fearless though.
Yeah, that's right. Exactly. Lillard
that's why I say that Lillard game might be game 1 because he is totally a guy who I could see coming out with the mindset of I'm gonna just dominate this thing from the onset and show everyone what I'm about.
Yeah.
And that could be his big game.
No, yeah, you're absolutely right.
Comes out and does that could totally change the series and put Houston on their heels.
I saw Houston in 6.
Yeah, I got Houston in 7. I think best player in the series is James Harden, and I think that's what eventually wins out. Wes Matthews ain't checking James Harden for 7 games and having success.
I don't think their bench is good enough either.
Are they going to put Wes Matthews on him, or is it going to be Nick Batum?
Probably Batum may have to guard Parsons.
Yeah, I think
he's like 6'9".
I mean, they may switch it up though, but it's going to be.
I'm sure they have to switch it up some because James Harden around for 7 games, he'd probably be literally dead.
Yeah,
you're going to have to switch it up with him.
Well, who's their third guard on Portland? Who's the third guard again?
What the hell? Lillard.
Who's Matthews. the third guard that comes the backup? Earl Watson, right?
Your boy's there, man. Yeah. Your boy.
Who's my boy? Oh yeah, that's right. Dude, I completely block his existence out of my mind because he's the worst. Oh well, then I forgot my way. Houston in 3.
Yeah.
My bad. Sorry. I completely forgot that he was there. Houston in 3. All right, moving on. Do we want to? Thunder Grizzlies.
Nah.
I'm not saying the Grizzlies are going to win.
We discussed earlier in the unreleased one about how that was probably the worst matchup for Oklahoma City. First round that they could have was Memphis.
Yeah, it is. It's a terrible.
And like I said to you, it doesn't necessarily mean I think Oklahoma City is going down, but I think it'll be if it's a 5-game series, it's a hard fought one. And if it's a 6-game series, that's probably the worst-case scenario for Oklahoma City because they want to get out of the first round relatively quickly and unscathed.
Yeah.
Especially after last year where they lost Westbrook in Game 3 and then nearly gave the whole series away and then just completely lost it after that.
Well, you know what? After we did the Lost Files podcast that nobody knows about. I thought about it some more, and I'm thinking, Grizzlies are a terrible matchup for them. The big guys are just gonna slice and dice them up. And I was like, well, wait a second, Kevin Durant's a terrible matchup for everybody.
Yeah.
So,
the other reason why I think that this is a terrible matchup for Oklahoma City is because the size in the post for Memphis kind of dictates that we have to play Kendrick Perkins. That means we have to play Kendrick Perkins.
Yeah.
If we would play Houston or Golden State, we probably could have sat Perkins down for the series.
Played Durant at center.
The only player in the league that's worse than Kendrick Perkins. That's a fact.
Yeah.
Garbage. Does anybody else have anything to say on this series? Should we move on?
I was literally going to say the same thing that Ryan just said. Literally word for word.
Does anyone have the Grizzlies?
No. Okay, handles them. 5 games.
How many games? 5 games? I think that's
probably 5, maybe 6, probably 5.
The other reason why I think that now that I think of it, another reason why this is a dangerous matchup is because they're familiar with each other in the playoffs.
Yeah.
They've played each other in the playoffs a good number of times here in this short span, so they're not unfamiliar with each other.
Speaking of familiar with each other, I mean, I don't want to really talk about this too much because it's going to be a sweep, but it's pretty cool that Duncan and Dirk are going to go at it again. You know what I mean? Like, that's pretty cool. That's a cool matchup. Like, it's cool that it worked out that way.
I think Dallas could sneak one.
Maybe.
But
I think it's going to be a sweep, though.
But more than likely, yeah. I mean, one at the very most, I would say.
Yeah, it'll be one Dirk game. One Dirk goes.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah, like 15 for 21. You know.
Yeah, and no offense to San Antonio and Dallas and Memphis, but we should just get a round robin double elimination of Oklahoma City, Golden State, Portland, and Houston. They should just have to play.
You don't like defense, do you?
I mean, I do like defense.
You hate about that defense life.
Those teams, though, are so fun to watch, especially when they play each other. The games are always great.
Yeah.
It's just a damn shame. Yeah, it's a damn shame, you know.
All right, so before we get into these second round games, does anybody else have anything to say about the Western Conference games before we move on? I don't want to. I'll take those crickets as a no. Breakout player. Last year, Steph Curry went from this cool Davidson player that knocked a bunch of people out in college to a cool NBA player who shoots a lot of threes to a legitimate, like, superstar. You know, that happened last year. That happened during the playoffs last year. That happens every year. There's always somebody that breaks out. I got Sean Livingston because I think that the Nets are going to take the Heat to 7, and I think Livingston's going to be like the reason. Like, I think he's going to be the difference. And nobody's going to be able to check him. I mean, unless they throw. I mean, I don't know if they're going to get to a point where they're throwing LeBron on him, but nobody's going to be able to check him on that Heat team. And I think he's going to get average like a lot of. He's going to have a lot of games where he's got 19 points, 9 rebounds, and 13 assists. Like, he's going to have a lot of those games.
Yeah.
Through the first
length
round.
in general, but especially his length is going to cause them some problems.
Yeah. Livingston's going to have a huge run here. They're not going to beat the Heat, but we'll save that. But Livingston's going to have a huge run. Who wants to throw their breakout player in next?
I'll go from the Nets first round series. I think DeMar DeRozan, I think he's due for a breakout. He's had a pretty great year. He's got to be up for the top 5 shooting guards in the league right now. He's really starting to come into his own and put more of his whole basketball game together and not rely so much on his athleticism. And I think he could have a pretty good showing in the first round, even if they don't make it out. But I think he can be someone that you're really going to have to take notice of, and he can really step up into the spotlight.
Unfortunately for him, he's like the ugliest dude in the world, too. So.
Yeah. I mean, just taking L after L, but yeah.
I agree. I like that pick. I think he's been playing a lot better this year. I think he'll hopefully step up. Good for Sean Livingston, too, after his leg broke in half.
Break a leg, Sean Livingston.
He's from Illinois. He ain't from Chi-Town, but he's from Illinois.
He's been around the league a lot of places. I don't know. Good for him. I don't know if I necessarily have a breakout player. I kind of have players that need to do well for certain teams to get far. I like Matt Barnes of Clippers. I know no one likes him. I'm not a huge fan of him, but he played well when Chris Paul was out and Griffin came up. He was playing a lot more aggressive. I think if Clippers are going to want to go far, I think they're going to need a lot of production out of him coming off the bench and providing that spark. I mean, that's really it for my breakout player, but I like him providing that extra little push for the Clippers to get further than they.
The oomph. He's got that oomph.
Get over that hill, yeah.
He's gonna hit him with that oomph.
Yeah. There's a great article
I'm gonna
on
give
the
this
Grant
one.
Lamb.
I read that today. He had a crazy that clinch game against the Mavericks when they beat him. He almost had a triple double. He had a crazy stat line.
Yeah. Who you got, Ryan?
I'm going to give this one to shout out to Josh's Florida Gators, Bradley Beal. I think
first name.
I think that not necessarily that he'll I don't think that he'll will the Wizards to a win, like a playoff victory or a series win. But man, he can be really, really good at times. He just needs to be more consistent. And if he gets that down, which it could happen in this series here, he can put up major points. So I think
like
Bradley
that.
Beal will be a little bit of a breakout
like that.
sensation.
Help Wall out too.
Ain't gonna happen because the bullies
That too.
gonna bully him up. But you know, Chi-Town stand up.
OG.
I don't think that it'll be enough for the. Going back to my boys, I guess, with the Warriors, I don't think it'll be enough to get them over the hump. But we were talking. I know one of you guys was talking about Harrison Barnes last year in the playoffs. I think maybe when they go small this year, instead of Barnes, it might be more Draymond Green.
Yeah.
He's a little bit better defensively.
I'm down
and
with that.
can hit outside shots some, which would possibly get Zake out of the key area some. And I think that'll probably be a key for them, at least making it a longer series than Josh thinks it's going to be. With
He's a
the
stat sheet
team
stuffer
playing
for
really
sure.
well.
Yeah, I like Draymond Green. That's the thing is I think he could like have a weird like 15 second half points and help them win steal a game. You know what I mean? Like
rebounds, play good.
yeah.
He's
You know,
a good
snag
passer
an
for his
offensive
size.
rebound
I like that.
and then put that back up. You know, like I could just picture now him going crazy, like Iggy coming up, like hugging him after he gets an and one.
I also got one more too. Kawhi Leonard of Spurs. He's been playing amazing, especially as of late, past few weeks. But I think if he could really get going and play to his full potential, aggressive, Spurs may be back at it again against the Heat. Maybe they actually take it this year. But he's been playing really well lately.
Yeah, he kind of broke out last year, but everyone seemed to forget about him, missing time at the start of the year and whatnot. But as soon as he came back, that's when they started their however many games in a row. What was it, 19 or something like that?
Yeah.
Well, I think Kawhi already had his coming out party last year. I think everybody's like everyone's aware that Kawhi
Agreed.
Leonard
He's
exists.
such a huge piece of that Spurs team, though. He does it
right.
all.
No, I mean he's the reason that they it's not that they fell off the face of the earth, but no one considered them contenders. He's the reason that they became what they are now. He's the reason that they were able to take that leap into they were a jump shot away from. They should have won the championship last year. Basically.
I agree. Hey, it's final 6 seconds.
Yeah, God, that was awful.
Imagine how different everything would be, man.
Everything.
I'm talking about LeBron.
Literally.
I'm glad it didn't happen, but man, that'd be very, very different.
Your boy did choke though. He did.
Bullshit, dude.
Make him
Ray
shoot
Allen
it.
wouldn't it? Ray Allen on the 3 if LeBron
Listen,
doesn't go.
dude. Yeah, how many jump shots did he have to
And here
miss
we
in the
go.
last minute of that game?
Game 6.
How many players did they had to bail his ass out in Game 6?
He ripped off 8.
Bosh bailed him out.
No headband, no problem to get to that point. It's not even a
Popovich
game,
bailed
man.
him out
I
by
would love
It's not even a
sitting
game at that
Duncan.
point if he doesn't leave
Ray
the
Allen bailed him out big time.
Spurs
That's what I'm
Miami
saying.
matchup again. That would be awesome.
I wrote about it on our site. I think we need Durant versus LeBron
Yeah.
for future purposes. But if we get Spurs Heat again, I will not. I wonder which player is going to bail LeBron out this time.
No one. They ain't winning if that happens.
You don't think so?
Nah, I think
We'll
Spurs
save
will
it.
take the rematch. Yeah.
We'll save it. All right, that wraps up part 1 of our NBA playoff preview. This weekend is a ton of good games. I mean, it obviously starts. I'm excited, guys. I'm really happy that this is finally here. It's I love that there's 82 games, but it's so long. Especially March.
Well, yeah, and towards the end when they stopped caring.
Yeah, right. Exactly. As usual, be sure to follow us on Twitter at AWR Podcast. Check out the site, rerecordingblog.wordpress.com. I'll have my challenge review up. I can't wait to watch that. After this is over, I will have my playoff preview in writing up on the site as well. Brad, what do you got? You got some coming for us on the site, don't you? You got some.
I don't think so.
I think you do. I heard you did.
Did I?
Was that rumors? Was that a
I don't know.
rumor? All
I
right,
don't
well,
know.
whatever.
It might not be until after next week, but maybe there's something coming. I don't know.
Maybe there's some coming.
We'll figure it out.
All right.
We know Josh has something, right?
Josh,
I got
Josh,
a
that
5,000
dude
word article coming right
on
up.
Sean May. You gotta read a Sean May article.
The Save Sean May Foundation.
Gotta do it. All right. Well, let's get out of here on that note. Go Bulls, go Cubs, go Blackhawks. That's all my squad's playing right now. Thanks for listening, guys.